What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that's the most important thing you do for me on this channel. What it does, that it helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. Last night, or I should say the night before last, right? Chris Cuomo completely annihilated Kamala Harris's border control section, or we'll say, of the speech, right? Obviously, Kamala didn't just speak about the border, right? But as it pertains to the part of her speech where she discussed the border, that section of her speech, Cuomo basically just said, throw it in the trash, man. Throw it in the trash. So let's hear what Cuomo had to say real quick. It's only a couple seconds. Then I want to get into some more information surrounding Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's history at the border. But let's hear what Cuomo had to say first.
Yes, Kamala Harris talked about immigration, but excusing the situation of the status quo as being a function of one bill not getting allowed to pass by Trump is not going to be satisfying, not to independent voters, not for people who study the issue.
That is 100% true. Not to independent voters and not to people who study the issue. And if you actually study the issue, and I will even provide you with the study materials, all the links to the articles that I'm going to show are going to be in the description box below. Okay, so I'm going to give you the study materials, but if you actually study the issue, you will see that the migrant crisis was literally created by Biden and Harris. They actually created it. And you can't create it and then tell a lie that this one bipartisan bill, because it didn't pass, there was just absolutely nothing you can do. We all know that's a lie, because after it didn't pass and it got closer to the debate with Joe Biden and Donald Trump, surprise, surprise, all of a sudden Joe Biden had signed an executive order to strengthen the border. But you lied and said you couldn't do anything about it before, right? These people are liars. But let's dial it back a little bit and go back to Biden and Harris, day one of their administration. Well, what did they do day one of their administration? Day one of their administration, as you can see here, it reads, Joe Biden to pause border wall construction and roll back other Trump immigration policies. Okay? And when you study the issue some more, you'll see Biden administration ends Trump era remain in Mexico policy. He ended it. He got rid of it. That was a key Trump era policy that kept illegal immigrants back, because how Remain in Mexico worked is that, yes, if you want to seek asylum and come up to the border looking for asylum, that's cool. You can do that if you want to, but you're going to wait for your day in court in Mexico. Your day in court will be here in the US, but you're going to wait in Mexico. You're not going to wait here. You stay over there, right? And the reality is, none of these people that have come all the way up to the border from wherever country they came from were trying to come all the way up here just to remain in Mexico for their asylum case to be dismissed. And now you're just stuck in Mexico. And now Mexico is telling you, hey, well, you can't stay here either. You got to go back to where you came from. And they're looking at you like, yo, how am I supposed to get back to where I came from? Because I was trying to get to the US. So that was a key policy that Biden and Harris got rid of. And then after getting rid of it, they reinstated catch and release. Catch and release is literally the opposite of remain in Mexico. Remain in Mexico is literally just that, remain in Mexico. Catch and release essentially is remain in the US, meaning you can come here and seek asylum and you can stay and wait for your day in court here in the US. That's what literally created the migrant crisis. Reversing remain in Mexico and implementing catch and release and putting that into play. Where as long as you get here, no matter how you get here, regardless of the fact that you crossed the border illegally, you can have your day in court while you wait in a 5-star hotel in New York City. or in Chicago or in Denver or in Washington, D.C., or in Los Angeles or in Atlanta as well, and any other city that's allowing this to go down in, right? And then you also have to take into account that on day one, President Biden put in place a deportation moratorium, halting all deportations in the United States. Late in the 2020 Democratic primary, Joe Biden, along with several other candidates, vowed to implement a temporary moratorium on deportations of undocumented individuals if elected. And true to his word, he directed the Department of Homeland Security to implement that moratorium on his first day in office, alongside a suite of other changes in immigration policy. Those other changes being what we just discussed. Okay? So they literally created this mess. And you know what Kamala Harris's solution is to all this? Here's Kamala's solution to all this. She said what her solution was to all this in a CNN interview, I believe it was earlier this year.
A bipartisan approach.
Let me rewind it back just a little bit. And she's going to talk about this bipartisan bill, this nonsense bipartisan bill that they didn't even need once again. But listen to her solution to the migrant crisis. Listen to her solution.
We should have a bipartisan approach to fixing this problem, which is a long-standing problem.
But what are those solutions?
The solution includes putting resources at the border to do what we can to process people effectively, and putting in place laws that actually allow for a meaningful pathway to citizenship.
She literally just stated what we need to do to stop the migrant crisis is to fund border agents so that they could process illegal immigrants faster and then implement a pathway to citizenship for them, meaning a mass amnesty bill. That's literally her solution, is literally what she said. My solution, according to Kamala Harris, is to process illegal immigrants faster and give them amnesty so that they can become citizens. I'm done. I don't know what else is there to say, man. Unless you just love illegal immigration and you think illegal immigration and these cities being overwhelmed is a good thing, then I guess go ahead and vote for Harris. But if you want an end to this, you all know what you got to do. Just like what I'm about to do on November. That's vote for Trump. But I mean, by all means, you do you, I guess. And with all that being said, that does it for today's video. So please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video out on your social media platform. And also don't forget to follow me on Telegram and Rumble. Both my Telegram and Rumble links are in the description box below. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.